Imagine watching your cousin bleed to death with your own eyes. You are born into the most dangerous country on the planet that has ever been for a young black man. And the only thing standing between you and darkness is a leather ball and a space you swear to protect with your life. This is the heartbreaking story of RONWEN Williams, a boy from Glevendale, a forgotten town on the edge of Port Elizabeth. He was born in 1992 in the dying breath of the apartheid, and back then, survival for a young black man was never promised. His childhood was something every South African boy had to fight to keep against poverty, drugs, and gangs that wanted to swallow him whole. When RONWEN was only 10 years old, he watched his cousin get shot and bleed out in front of his own eyes. Then, football stopped being a game and became the only place the violence could not follow him. Before he was even a teenager, he made the hardest choice a boy can make and left his home, his friends, and his streets behind to chase something he could not yet see. He climbed the academies of small South African clubs and grew into one of the brightest young goalkeepers the nation had ever produced. And for the first time, the dream had weight in his hands, close enough to hold, but real enough to break. And in April of 2010, his older brother Marvin, his greatest supporter, the man who believed in him before anyone else ever did, was killed in a car accident. And the boy who survived the streets very nearly didn't survive the grief. RONWEN wanted to quit football. He began asking himself how he could keep saving a game when the world could not save the one person that mattered most. But RONWEN was brave. He returned with a vow carved into his soul that every save and every trophy from that day forward would belong to Marvin. And before every single penalty he would ever face, he learned to look at the sky and ask his brother what way he should dive. The years passed and so did the national team caps, the trophies, the CAF Champions League, until the world arrived at the 2024 African Cup of Nations, where he kept 4 straight clean sheets and carried South Africa to a shootout against Morocco. And there, at the threshold of everything he had survived, stood RONWEN Patrick Williams, the boy from Glevendale, the goalkeeper, guided by a dead brother's hand. RONWEN saved 4 penalties in that shootout, the most ever saved in a single AFCON shootout in history. In the next game, he saved 2 more against Congo, as if somebody in the sky was whispering the answer every single time. But it is now 2026, and the fairy tale is fading. 2 World Cup games gone, Mexico and Czechia, and South Africa have 1 single point to show for it. And the dream that survived gunshots and graves now hangs by a thread thinner than breath. But standing between his country and elimination is one last whisper of hope. South Korea, win or go home. Minute by minute, the shots come, and RONWEN Williams answers every single one of them. South Africa then go ahead until the final whistle tears the air open. For the first time in its entire history, South Africa walks into the knockout stage of a World Cup. A nation forced to its knees, 60 million people screaming a single name, and in the middle of it all stands a man who looks up past the floodlights into the only place that has ever held the people he loved. But the cruelty of football is the truth that everything RONWEN built was for 2 men who could no longer see it. A cousin who died on a Glevendale street before he could grow up, a brother who died in April before his dream would come true. The world is celebrating with RONWEN Williams, and the only 2 people he ever truly wanted beside him are the only 2 who will never arrive. Some men play for a roar in the crowd. RONWEN Williams played for 2 silent voices in the sky and gave everything to the people who could only ever watch. Now, does this story deserve a follow?